Welcome back to Road Hard Restorations. In this video, we're going to be connecting this to that. Now, I know a lot of cars have cables. This is a 1967, still has linkage. A lot of other cars still have linkage. So the problem I have with this car is this is a piece of linkage for the 2-barrel carburetor that this car originally came with. This connects here, and then this goes on here, and obviously it's the wrong angle, and yes, I know I can bend it, but this also takes an E-clip, which I don't have. I know I can order it. I have a kit of assorted E-clips, but I don't really trust any of them. And to not pop off. And also I don't want anything binding up or anything. I've got a new bushing and everything on order as well, so that'll come new. But let me show you what I use for throttle linkage. Works super smooth. So I just went down to my local Speedway, picked up these items here. These are the part numbers here in case you're interested in doing the same thing. This is just a tube, swedged ends, and threaded on either side. Left hand on one and right hand on the other. And then on the end, I have these little itty bitty Heim Joints for spherical ball ends. One's a left hand thread, one's a right hand thread. And then you're going to need some left hand thread nuts. This comes in a pack of 6. One of them is on the Mustang, so I didn't have to buy another one of those. But so I just used one out of that pack. This one, they come in black or like silver chrome metal in different lengths. So just figure out what size you need and go from there. So when you're measuring for your throttle linkage, you want to figure out how far forward your linkage can go before it hits and interferes with anything, and how far back it goes when you're at full throttle. You got carpet underneath the pedal, anything else that might interfere, because you don't want to bottom out your pedal against your carpet and then only be at like 3/4 throttle. So I can start with it all the way at the top, but it hits the valve cover, so I got to make sure I back it off a little bit. The closer to the pivot that the throttle linkage connects to, the shorter throw you need. If you're out here, you're going to need a much longer throw. This one actually should fit right in here. Let's go ahead and get this assembled real quick here. Remember, lefty tighty, righty loosey. That's 50-50 chance. Did I get the right side in the first try? First try. All right, this is just the fine thread nut that I had, so I didn't have to buy any. It's not shiny and pretty, but it'll work. All right, so now when it's on the car, I can just, because one hand's left, one's right, I can just kind of spin it one way or the other to loosen or tighten it. So bring that all the way in. Bring that all the way in. I'll hook it up and then I'll pull it out. So let me get the hardware to bolt this to the linkage. Let's see what we have to work with. All right, got this kind of mocked up. It's just kind of loose on there right now. I don't have anything tightened up just yet. I'm still waiting for the new bushing on this end. But give you an idea of how that's going to work. You can just kind of try it out here. It's going to open it up all the way. And then if you need to, if it's too close to the valve cover like that, you just twist it to open it up. See how much movement you have just with a few turns. So I think we're in good shape. Actually, I need to move this to that side, don't I? It's quite an angle there. But with the Heim joint, you can get away with an angle like that, but I think it's gonna be better turned around. So let me go ahead and switch this around real quick. This bushing is shot. I got another one on order. So I can turn it around to the other side here. Okay, so once I get that tight, this is tight on there, that's a much better angle. So let me get this tightened up. Sometimes when you're hooking up this kind of linkage, the end here is really close to the linkage, and you have this nut on here. If the nut's big, it could potentially interfere, especially if you're like in this hole, for instance, right here. It's gonna be rubbing up against there and cause it to bind. So sometimes all you need is like a tiny little washer to go behind the joint there. Make sure you got plenty of free play as well, and then feed it through the hole, and that gives it just enough clearance so when the nut's on here, it's not going to be rubbing on it. I'm just using a little nylock nut here. Happens to be all stainless hardware here. Okay, so that's on there, plenty of play. Make my adjustments here, then you lock it down with the nut. This side here, I'm waiting for the new bushing to come in that'll allow me to make that a lot tighter. I'm not gonna tighten that up all the way yet because I gotta just take it apart again anyway. So, but as you can see, that's how the and get all the way full throttle. And I still have some clearance. Obviously, I have a lot of play in here right now, but even with that, it's pulling it wide open. So. Happy with that, it'll work. I just need to hook up a return spring. Once I get the coil bracket and everything, the return spring will come near the coil bracket to hook that up. So I never got back to showing you the linkage on that Camaro. The parts came in, I finished up the car and got it delivered before I had to remember to actually take some video. But this is on the Mustang, same idea. It's got the two Heim joints, the center rod in the middle, the nuts, and there's no binding. Super smooth, no play in there at all. So highly recommend it.